From the floor of the CME Group, this is Danny Riley on today's Cash Close. Now, you know I get all excited about this stuff. I may have been off for a couple days, but I haven't lost any of it. The name of this video, Memorial Day weekend, the S&P 500 futures, and where has all the volume gone? The high of the day in the S&P came in at 21.29 even early morning, or mid-morning. The low came in at 21.24 even early, and last we're 21.25 half. Last we're down 2.5 handles. Total volume, I'll talk about that in a minute. It's only 700,000 minis trade and 1,000 big S&Ps trade in the pit. MOC, the MIM started showing like 100 million to sell, 120 million to sell, went down to like 99 million to sell, and then right before the 245 cash close, or 345 in New York, a giant sell order hit the MOC, and MOC came out sell 1.45 billion. Woo. Now, next week is a shortened holiday week, but it's a busy week. We have a total of 18 separate economic releases. We have 10 T-bill or T-bond auctions or announcements. We have 6 Federal Reserve Bank presidents speaking, and we have the US GDP on Friday, or Thursday. No, Friday. Now, while the markets are closed on Monday, we still have some Fed speak. Loretta Mester from the Fed and Stanley Fischer are both speak. And then Tuesday's trade starts with a big economic calendar. We have the durable goods order. We have the FHFA House Price Index. We have the S&P Case-Schiller Index, or HPI. We have the PMI Services Flash. We have consumer confidence. We have the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index. We have the Dallas Fed Mfg Survey. Wow. We have a two-year note auction. We have Stanley Fischer and Jeffery from the Fed speaking. So here, where are we going with all this? I don't really know. You know, what's really bothersome to me, and while all of a sudden a lot of people are starting to catch on to it, is I want to remind everybody, the S&P had an all-time contract volume high in October of 2009 of 6.9 million contracts in one day. I think they did a million four overnight. Now, this week, so let me read this, and I don't really even need to look at anything. On Monday, we did 915,000 contracts. On Tuesday, we did 999,000 contracts. On Wednesday, we did 1 million contracts. Yesterday, we did, I got to look at this now. Yesterday, we did 793,000. It's the lowest volume of the year. Where have all the traders gone? And then today, we're going to barely make it over 700,000 minis. So here we are. Friday's the last trading day of the month, and then Tuesday's the first trading day of the month. I got to think that they got to buy some cash going into that. But you know what? At the same time, it doesn't seem to matter if they're buying or selling, because the S&P is still sitting right off its contract highs, and it's been like that all week. In fact, you know the old term, sell in May and walk away? Well, actually, May is going to end up to be one of the best performing months of the year for the S&P. So I don't know what to say about that. You know, we've seen this kind of sell in May and walk away thing kind of end up in June and July lately. So, you know, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but right now it's not happening. Now look at, one thing I wanted to say about the volume before I close out is, we used to do that volume that I just put out to you guys in one day. We used to do 3.5 to 4 million contracts in a day. Mr. Top Step used to do 10 to 20,000 big S&Ps a day. I don't know what's going on here, but I do think that there's a lot of risk on, risk off going on, and people that have put this risk off stuff on, they're just not jumping back on board right now. Clearly, the S&P is up too high to buy and really too damn firm to sell. I learned that this week. But look at, you know what? It's all about the end of the month now, you guys, and then we're going into June, and then we're going into the end of the quarter. Yeah, the end of the second quarter already. Can you believe that? But we're going to leave it like this. You know what? The markets are going out on a firm note, despite the fact that there's a big MOC sell on the close. And I want everybody to have a great weekend. You know, it's Memorial Day weekend. You know, we be proud of our troops out there that are defending America, and you know, the whole thing. And I'm all about that. You know, the Wounded Warrior, Mr. Topstep is a contributor to the Wounded Warrior and will always continue to be. We'll leave it like that. I want to thank everybody, and I am back. I'll see you on the opening print on Tuesday.